If you or your business is interested in sponsoring the Bobocast, we do accept Muggle currency and Muggle-owned and operated partners. Inquire further at bobocast@gmail.com. But right now I'd like to take this opportunity to show for a favorite product of mine. The kind creators of the Blemish Blitzer potion have thrown me a couple sickles to tell you about the wonders of this potion. Its secret ingredients are brewed annually on the hottest point on the equator just to provide that bright as day blemish begondom. Your face, neck, or other appendages will be smooth and clean as a brand new broom handle. Smile. It's the Blemish Blitzer potion. Not for use on bottoms, sides, insides, or pets. Welcome back to Bo Books, the Harry Potter podcast. This is Andy. I'm your wizard host here, magicking some spells and telling you tales of adventure. This is the perfect podcast for those of you who are interested in catching up to what's going on in the movies before the last movie comes out. This is also a good podcast if you're just interested in hypothesizing and thinking about more Harry Potter such things. So, welcome back. Last time we just talked about some of the differences between some of the books and the movies in terms of pacing and writing and things like that. And today we're going to get into some of the meat of the issue. And now this is critical stuff if you are trying to catch up and you want to know what's going on in the last film, or if you were confused during the films, or if you just haven't cared that much and now you need to catch back up again. And today's topic is really going to be about Harry and Voldemort, better known as Harry Potter or You-Know-Who, or rather Harry Potter and You-Know-Who. So if you don't know, Voldemort is the main bad guy, and everyone calls him You-Know-Who, or He Who Shall Not Be Named, or something like that. And the reasons given in the book were that in the past he was so feared and so terrible that everyone was afraid to say his name. So everyone just grew up calling him You-Know-Who and have done so for 20, 30 years. Now, when Harry Potter, our main character, shows up, he doesn't really understand this, and so he develops a healthy amount of skepticism against You-Know-Who, because You-Know-Who has killed his family and done all these sorts of horrible things. So he calls him by his true name, Voldemort, or not his true name, the name that he goes by. His actual true name is Tom Riddle, because he was given his father's name at birth, and then he changed it because he didn't like his father at all. Anyways, what we're going to be doing is exploring the relationship between these two, the main hero, Harry Potter, and the main villain, Voldemort. And if you don't know anything about these two or the movies in the world, at least you know this, that these two have had a lot of engagements in the past. They're arch nemeses. So this podcast is here to tell you the why and the how and all that sort of stuff. So the base premise of the last and final book and final movie is that Harry Potter needs to kill Voldemort, and Voldemort needs to kill Harry Potter. That's it. They know they're at each other's throats, but it's a little trickier than that, because while Voldemort could turn around and pretty much kill Harry Potter whenever he feels like it, as long as he sees him, Harry's got to go through quite a bit more to actually bring Voldemort down. Thus, you get the plot of the entire 7th book and 7th movie, is they're hunting for these objects, these magical objects that hide a piece of Voldemort's soul in them. If you kill that little object, then you kill the piece of the soul, and you've got to kill so many objects before all you're left with is Voldemort himself. Then, once you actually do kill Voldemort, which is a daunting task in itself, but once you actually do that, then you've killed all his other remnants, his hiding places. So, let's go back to the beginning. Let's tell you everything that's gone on. When we begin the book, the very start of the series, Harry Potter is an infant and he is being brought to his relative's doorstep. His parents have been killed and he has survived. Voldemort went to kill Harry Potter and he killed his parents in the meantime. But when he did the curse on Harry Potter, a killing curse, the curse backfired. The curse is called the Avada Kedavra. And it has this green flash of light, and whoever gets hit by it just dies right there. Instantly. No, nothing else. That's it. And Voldemort goes to do this to Harry. points it right at his face when Harry's a baby, and points his wand right at his face and says it, and the curse backfires, the house explodes, Voldemort is destroyed, not dead, but destroyed. He lost his body, he's somewhere fleeing as like a minor chunk of soul or something, who knows what he was. And Harry's screaming, so, because he's a baby and his parents are dead. So he's taken to live with his aunt and uncle. Now, Harry doesn't know all this. He finds this out over the course of the 7 books. And what's kind of cool about the way the books are written is there are so few scenes, very, very few scenes, maybe one per book in the very first chapter where Harry Potter is not the main perspective that we're following. So in all of the other books, as you read them, you are in Harry's shoes. You see what Harry sees. So when Harry is mistaken, you find out later that Harry is mistaken. When Harry has a suspicion or thoughts, you see all of Harry's thoughts. And so as you go through this, you really do see the world from Harry's point of view and not from anybody else's point of view. So it's a really interesting way to unfold all this information. And it is still kind of third person. And by third person, I mean he's not. The writing doesn't go like, I then walked down and hopped onto my broom, then I flew into the sky. It's not that. It's Harry walked and went onto his broom, but everywhere you go, you're just following Harry Potter around. It's like you're kind of this narrator up behind Harry, just seeing what's in his immediate field of vision, for the most part. So let's do a rundown of the books and why. No, actually, let's start with Harry Potter 7 and what Voldemort and Harry are up to. So if you're just tuning into this to go see the movie, then this is pretty much all you need to know. Harry Potter and Voldemort's wands, they have magical wands, have been in combat with each other as well as the wizards. So the wands kind of are brothers, and they do weird things when they're together. Mostly, this has worked out to Harry Potter's advantage. It's protected him. So Voldemort has tried to find a new wand, and he has actually found a wand. The wand he has found is Dumbledore's old wand. Dumbledore is the former headmaster. He's like this super sagely amazing good wizard, your classic wizard with the long beard and flowing robes and silly hat and glasses and all that sort of thing. And he's the most powerful, the most incredible wizard that's been around, but Voldemort had him killed. And he died at the end of book 6, in movie 6. So Voldemort shows up at the end of Harry Potter 7.1, the very end of the first half of the last movie, however that works out, and takes Dumbledore's wand away from him. So now Voldemort thinks he has the most powerful wand. Harry knows he has it because of some things I'll tell you about in a minute. And so basically now Voldemort's got this super powerful wand, and he's out to kill Harry. Now Harry has been trying to hunt down what are called Horcruxes, and these are these little objects that have a bit of soul in it. And again, that's called a Horcrux. If you hear them talking about it, that's the word they're using. As he's looking for these Horcruxes, he's found 3 of them, I think. 2 of them have been destroyed, and he thinks there's about 4 more. So at the end of the last movie that came out, they had found one. Oh no, they hadn't found that one. They had found 2, and they were really having some trouble. So where the 7th movie will pick up is they're going to go and try and find one more Horcrux. He thinks he knows where it is, and then they're going to try and go on from there. But now Voldemort's got the wand, so they're in bubbles. Okay, so anyways, that's where the movie's going to pick up, and you've kind of got some background. They're out to kill each other. Voldemort has a new super powerful wand. Harry's looking for these objects, but he also still wants to kill Voldemort. Okay. So now let's go back through kind of a journey through the books. In book number 1, it's Harry Potter being introduced to the wizarding world. So most of it is just learning about how things work and what is magic, and you need a wand, and you use owls for mail, and all this random magic shit, which is fine. It's a lot of fun. And he ends up fighting Voldemort at the end. At the end, the villain, we don't know that it's him, and everyone thinks he's gone, so it was kind of a surprise to everybody. Of course, it's the first book, so we don't know any better. Voldemort had hidden himself in his shadowy half-life body, because remember last time we heard about him, he had been killed from, or not killed, but he had been destroyed from the curse backfiring. So now he shows up at Hogwarts embedded into the back of some guy's head. And we don't know that he's controlling this guy and he's in the back of his head until the very end of the book where he confronts Harry Potter. And some interesting things are happening. When Voldemort is close to Harry Potter, Harry Potter has a scar on his head where the curse backfired, flares up and gives him pain. So like he has kind of this initial sort of reaction with the scar and Voldemort and this combination. Voldemort tries to take the stone. He doesn't get it. He runs and tries to attack Harry Potter. When he touches Harry Potter's flesh, his skin burns. Voldemort's skin burns, and he is chased away yet again. Now, part of the reason for this whole setup is we need to learn a little bit about why Harry Potter survived in the first place and why his skin burned and all that sort of thing. And what happened is when Harry Potter was killed, when Voldemort came to kill him, he cast the spell, Avada Kedavra, the killing curse, on his mother and father first, before Harry. And before he killed his mother, he said, "Get out of the way. I'm going to kill your baby," or something like that. "I'm going to do some baby killing." And she said, Harry Potter's mom said, "Not him, take me instead." And he killed her and then went to kill Harry Potter. And when she had said that, that was a kind of magic that basically gave him this protection. So that's what caused the rebound of the curse. And that's what caused Voldemort, when he touched Harry Potter, to be repelled as well, to be burned, because Harry still had his mother's protection. Okay, so now Voldemort hates Harry Potter because he's confused. Some baby, the curse backfired. He thought that was some luck or something. And then now he's foiled him yet again at the school when he's trying to do some evil deed and get his body back. So Voldemort's pissed. Next book, number 2, it's called Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. The Chamber of Secrets is a chamber below the school in a secret passageway where a basilisk is kept. And a basilisk is like a giant snake. If it looks you in the eyes, you turn to stone. It's also got hideously poisonous fangs, and also it's a humongous snake, like the size of a semi-truck, and it'll eat your fucking face off. And so this gets released on the school, and Harry's trying to deal with it. Now, in this book, we find out that Voldemort was a Parseltongue. And what a Parseltongue is, it means he can speak to snakes. And while this is like sort of a wizardly ability, it's not a very common ability, and it is known as an evil kind of ability. So Harry Potter finds this sort of thing out. He starts hearing weird voices, and he starts thinking that maybe he has a connection to Voldemort beyond just the killing. Maybe he is an actual dark wizard and he doesn't know it, and all that sort of scary thing. Well, it turns out he was wrong. He does have the Parseltongue ability, but it was because when Voldemort did that killing curse on him, it's like they fused together a little bit. So a little piece of Voldemort's mind and ability is present in Harry's. So some of his Parseltongue got transferred over, so now Harry's Parseltongue, and other sorts of things like that. The last thing that happens that we need to know about in the book number 2 is the presence of the Horcrux. And this is why book 2 is my favorite book. It is the first time we actually see one of these Horcrux. Again, a Horcrux is an object that contains a piece of Voldemort's soul, or anybody's soul. Basically what it is when you kill somebody, a piece of your soul breaks off of you. So it's this supremely violent act. And in the magical world, you lose a piece of your soul when you kill somebody. A Horcrux is an object where that little piece of soul that chips off of you, you can capture that piece of soul and put it in an object so that when you die, you live. You can go on and resurrect yourself through the power of that object, and you're not truly dead. So Voldemort has done this. We don't find that out until book number 6, near the end. But Voldemort has done this, created a Horcrux. And the first Horcrux shows up in book number 2, where it is a diary. And Horcruxes aren't just an object with a soul in them; they also kind of possess a person who has them. Like if you have give a lot of emotion to it, it reacts like a soul. It kind of sucks a part of you into it, and it ends up possessing one of our characters. Now, the Horcrux is destroyed at the end of the book. And for a Horcrux to be destroyed, it has to be destroyed by a very powerful magical object. So what they happen to use is they have a basilisk fang handy, because the basilisk was right there. And they took its fang and stabbed this diary and killed and destroyed this Horcrux. Now, the basilisk fang is very rare. It's not like they're just all over the place, but it is one of these powerful magical objects that can destroy these Horcruxes. Okay, so now we've got Harry Potter has been confronted by Voldemort himself in the Sorcerer's Stone 1, a weakened Voldemort, and then Voldemort's Horcrux in number 2, which kind of is like a piece of himself, a piece of him, and Harry's starting to confront Voldemort that's in his head, this little scar connection that they have. Harry Potter 3. Harry Potter 3 is the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, which is a lot of people's favorites. A lot of people like this book. It's one of the best of the movies in terms of how the story is fit together, how coherent it is, and how well presented it is. But really the only thing that happens in number 3 is, there's two things. One of Voldemort's servants is still alive. We thought he was dead. He's still alive, and he escapes. So that's important. Voldemort now has a servant that's on the run. Okay. At the very end of the book that happens. The other thing that happens is we find out that prophecy and making predictions about the future is a magical act of divination. It's a magical branch, and it works. And we know one person who makes prophecies sometimes. That's pretty much all that happens in 3 in relation to Harry and Voldemort. It's a good story. It's a good book, but whatever. That's all that happens. Book number 4 is where shit gets real. So Voldemort has his servant that just ran away from him in number 3, and he has some other help as well. So he's starting to gain a few people back, and he's going to try and come back to power, is really the entire plot of book number 4. We don't find this out except at the very beginning and the very end, but to come back to power in the way that he wants, he needs a special spell to be done. He needs his father's bone put into this potion. He needs his some flesh from a servant of his, which he now has because of this guy who escaped. And he needs the blood of an enemy. And he doesn't want just the blood of any old enemy, because he had thousands. He wants specifically the blood of Harry Potter. Because, remember in number 1 where he couldn't touch Harry Potter? That's because Harry Potter's blood has this magical protection from his mother. So Voldemort wants Harry Potter's blood specifically in the potion, so that when he rises again, really he and Harry Potter share blood, is what it turns out to be, and so he can touch him. And he is successful, basically, is the long and short of it. He kidnaps Harry Potter. His servants kidnap Harry Potter through much craziness. He puts together this potion and comes back to life and regains his body. And now Voldemort is back in power. He has his wand again. He has his magical power again. He calls his faithful servants and unfaithful servants to him. And his closest servants are called Death Eaters, Deatheaters, Death Eaters. And now they're around to starting to do some damage and make things hard. Harry escapes, of course, but not before dueling with Voldemort and demonstrating the connection between the wands. So they each cast a spell at each other. Their wands connect, and because their wands are brothers, Harry Potter ends up on the better side of that deal, as previously mentioned. But then Harry Potter escapes. So Voldemort's pissed, right? Harry Potter's escaped him yet again. This little kid, because he's only 13 years old, 14 years old, this kid is thwarting him in front of his followers, and so now he's pretty pissed off. But he's back, and he has his magical powers again. Now, shit gets real. In book number 5, we really explore the connection between Voldemort and Harry Potter. And in Harry Potter's scar that aches whenever Voldemort is angry or happy or experiencing some extreme piece of emotion. Harry Potter starts getting glimpses into the world that of Voldemort's life. And Voldemort starts getting glimpses into Harry's world. So there's these plus and minus kind of side of magic. One is called occlumency, and one is legilimency, I think. And legilimency is when you can read somebody's mind. And it's not just like reading it like a book. It's like exploring it and seeing what they saw and seeing their memories and feelings and that sort of thing. Occlumency is blocking that out and making your mind impenetrable. So there's a lot of this going on, whereas Harry's working hard at trying to block Voldemort out. He's not very good at it, but there is this mind connection there. And the mind connection actually ends up saving somebody's life, Harry Potter's best friend's father's life, and does some other things. But it leads Harry Potter to think that somebody is in trouble when they're really not, and leads Harry Potter and his friends into danger, because Voldemort abuses this power once he figures it out. It is through this whole process at the end there, and this mind linking, that we find out about the prophecy. The prophecy I mentioned in number 3. There was a prophecy about about Voldemort, and it was made before Harry Potter was born, around the time when Harry Potter was born. And Voldemort got a hold of the prophecy and heard it and thought that there was... basically, he thought that the prophecy said that one of these two has to die, Voldemort or this baby, and the baby has a power that the Dark Lord will not have. And so the Dark Lord, or Voldemort is also known as the Dark Lord, goes out to kill this baby. He's like, well, I'll just kill him now as a baby, and then he won't grow up to be able to kill me. Ta-da! Problem solved. He finds out that this baby is Harry Potter. And he goes and find Harry Potter. So that night when Harry and his parents were killed, or Harry's parents were killed and Harry was attacked, that was all part of this prophecy, Voldemort trying to fulfill it. Voldemort did not hear that second half of the prophecy, which is really important. And therefore Harry lives on to foil Voldemort again and again and again. But really we find out that there is a prophecy, and the result of the prophecy is that neither can live while the other survives. One of them is going to kill the other, is how it all works out. And we kind of knew that from the very beginning, once you realize that this is a chain of events. And that's where Book 7 is headed. One of them kills the other, and, well, let's be honest. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out which one it's going to be. It's not called Voldemort in the Deathly Hallows. But anyways, that's going on. So then basically in Book 6 we're finding out, Harry finds out about Voldemort's past and all the Horcruxes, these little objects, and he finds out that they're on a mission to kill these Horcruxes. That's really what the whole mission is about, and that's what he's going to do in 7. And unfortunately Voldemort also has Dumbledore, previously mentioned, killed. So Harry Potter has had his parents killed. He also had his godfather killed by Voldemort. He had Dumbledore killed, and these father figures, these parental figures in his life, have just been mowed down one by one by Voldemort, or agents of Voldemort. So while Voldemort has all of this reason to go after Harry Potter because he's after power, so he's trying to kill this one according to the prophecy, Harry all of a sudden has a ton of reasons to finish it himself and go after Voldemort. And he doesn't want to just like be on the run or be a kid anymore. He wants to hunt this fucker down and kill him because he's been messing with him so much. So now we've got just a ton of motivation on both sides as we enter into Book 7. Harry's motivated to hunt down Voldemort's Horcruxes and then hunt down Voldemort. Voldemort's motivated to hunt down Harry. And what happens is a war. The wizarding world is completely at war because they end up taking sides. Most of the people who take sides with Voldemort are doing so out of fear, or they enjoy cruelty. And the other people who are in support of Harry Potter are on the run because Harry Potter's on the run, and it is a tricky sort of business. So that's the relationship between, that was a long blather of smather and dather, I guess. But that's really a whole bunch of why Voldemort and Harry are pitted against each other. Why do they hate each other? Like, what's the motivation? What's the reasons? Well, there's all these magical reasons, there's all these personal reasons, and there's all this stuff going on. Now you know. That's what's up. Voldemort. You know who. Harry Potter. Yeah. Now, if that was too fast for you and you didn't catch it all, just start the podcast over and play it again. If you can do me a favor and rate it on iTunes, I'd really appreciate that. Just tell people what it's about and that you listen to it, and we'll see if we can get some more advertisers along with Blemish Blitz Potion. Smile, it's Blemish Blitz. So that's what I got. Read something. Tell me about it at bobocast@gmail.com or at bobocastme on Twitter. If you have thoughts, wishes, secret desires, or need some wizardly advice, feel free to send in an owl or an email and ask. And I'll be happy to respond and talk about whatever questions you might have or comments that you might have. I'll leave you with a little bit of trivia, one that I can think of off the top of my head. And then we'll sign off. This week's trivia, one of the teachers in Hogwarts, the school, is Professor Flitwick, who is the charms teacher. And Professor Flitwick appears in all 7 books. But in only one book is his first name mentioned. So a very delicate trivia question. What is Professor Flitwick's first name? The answer next time on Bobocast.